Hi, welcome to Expansiveness of Light. Today, I would like to talk about how we do live in a matrix. And this matrix has something called the hive mind. Some people will call it the planetary thought body, the collective consciousness of humanity. And in this hive mind, it's a programming that filters into most people's individual minds, and basically it's the group think mind of telling people what they must do, how they must behave, should they should be fearful of this, they should be fearful of that, because as long as people keep getting distracted by all of that, they're allowing themselves to be controlled by the matrix. And take, for instance, of a beehive. That beehive, the bees are producing and creating honey, but who are they producing all of that for? They're producing it for the queen. And it's kind of interesting, it's kind of a paradox in many ways, because really in this human reality, for thousands of years, it's been the patriarchal energy of serving the king, serving the masculine energy. And usually that has been a small group of men, families, that the masses have been working for little or no money whatsoever, producing things, creating things. And the masses are struggling. And so there is a lot of manipulation and deception going on, and it's just increasing because the light is getting stronger, it's coming in, and people are awakening and starting to question everything, going, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to be working for hardly any money and barely surviving to do something that I do not feel in my heart and in my soul. And that is the big shift that is happening on this planet. The more you can awaken within yourself and know the sovereignty of who you are, the more you become free. However, you have to know that. Trust me, you have to know that. And you have to have the confidence and the self-worth. And so many people are walking around with believing they believe they deserve all of that stuff, but they have all of this old mental programming, all of these beliefs that they're not good enough and they're not worthy. And so they keep attracting the same thing, and they keep us struggling. So they created two movies, which movies tend to be a reflection upon where the consciousness of humanity is. They created a movie of a character of a bee and of an ant, and in both movies they basically were like, wait a minute, I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I doing this? Why are we working so hard? I want to do something else. I want to be free. And so they broke free from the programming, and that's what it takes. So the Matrix is sending people messages all the time. And if you're on the computer all the time, or on the TV, or on your phone all of the time, that is lowering your frequency. And basically, it's pulling you down into density. And it's making you, in many ways, very robotic. And that is artificial intelligence. And that's what the Matrix is. It's an artificial system. Because, in truth, before all of this was occurring, there was an organic probably Matrix too. Matrix isn't necessarily a negative thing. Matrix is kind of like the webbing, the energetic structures that allow us to have this human experience. So we used to have Eden on this planet, where everyone had everything they needed. But back then, in that experience, people didn't believe that they needed so much out here. They knew their oneness with the Creator. And I think this is where the parable comes from Adam and Eve, of they were completely naked, and really probably they could have been, but that probably is a very symbolic thing, meaning they were very pure, they were very innocent. They didn't need to put clothes on because they were completely accepting of themselves. They didn't need to wear a costume. And so they were being, they were feeling, they were experiencing life. And that's, in many ways, from my intuition, that's the feminine energy. And then the snake tempted them with an apple, and they ate the apple from the tree of knowledge. And if I feel into that, that is basically going into the ego. Because the left brain part of us, the ego part of us, the program, needs to know everything, needs to try to figure everything out, label everything, identify everything. And then that ego part of us starts to morph into its own entity of believing that we're this separate individual and we're powerful. And we start to push aside the one Creator, that we are all that. We are not separate individuals. And so I think that in many ways was the fall of humanity, was the belief that the individual human was more powerful than the absolute. So the Matrix will try to distract you. It will try to make you afraid. And it has all of these outer characters that are telling you what to do and how you should feel and how you should behave. And you either give your power away to all of that, and I'm not saying that everything that they say in the outer world is not true. What I'm saying is, if you give your power away to all of the organizations and the governments and the people, your friends, your loved ones, your wife, your husband, your parents, the college, the schools, the teachers, if you give your power away, believing that they know what's true for you, what's best for you, you will be living in density. And we are on a timeline that we are on several timelines, and there are many souls that are on a higher timeline of God realization, self-realization, reclaiming the sovereignty within yourself, becoming free within yourself. And then there's other individuals that are staying on more the density timeline. And in that one, things could get more harder and more of a struggle, more pain, more suffering. And I'm not here to try to convince you uh, because that's every individual soul's choice. Uh, the number one thing is to learn how to feel what's true for you. So a lot of times what I do is if I see something or I hear something, I will take a nice deep breath in. I've asked the question first, and then I exhale, and I see what I feel. Do I feel a strong no? Do I feel a strong yes? And it can be very subtle, and it takes practice to regain your own inner trust, your own guidance. And you can do it. So I share all of this because I want everyone to be free. I want everyone to be sovereign. And in truth, we are all that already. There is nothing that we have to become. We just have to remember who we really are. So, peace and blessings and much love from me to you, because we are one.